All right, welcome into episode 40. We were just doing the count right before here. We're back. My video's back, which is nice. Here on a Saturday afternoon. Been about, I guess, 10 days now. We always say we'll be, be back sooner, but life happens sometimes, I guess. But Mike, how you doing today?
Not too bad. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Indeed. The sun's out now. That's probably temporary. I'm assuming it's going to rain at some point because that's just life now. Uh, but yeah, I mean, we got a lot to cover. We've again, it's been about 10 days or so. A lot of different sports happening, but I guess Mike, we'll kind of lead with the obvious here, where we got Game 5 tonight of the NBA Finals, a 2-2 series. Last time we were on, again, only one game I think had been completed. So I guess we'll start there. So Phoenix obviously came out of the gate hot. Um, had a pretty good win in game one, and then even more convincing win, I think, in game two. It was almost the same game over again. I think I texted you that during the game. It was just like Phoenix went up a ton. Milwaukee kept cutting it to like 7, and then they couldn't get any further than that.
Yeah, game two, I'd say the story was the first quarter where Milwaukee was doing whatever they wanted on the offensive end, and they're playing really good defense. Just the Suns kept on hitting threes. I think they were like 6 of 8 to start the game, and they're
Yeah.
at the end of the first quarter. So like you watch that first quarter, it's like how is Phoenix up right now? They're getting so outplayed, and you knew like the game's kind of
Yeah.
revert back to the mean, and then that was just the way it was. I think was that game the stinkers for both Middleton and Holiday was at 12 of 37.
Oh yeah, 12 and 37. I think I texted you after that game. Yeah. Which was the difference because Giannis obviously scored 41. He was awesome in that game. He just had quite literally no help. So yeah, I think did they end up shooting like 50% of the game from three?
I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, just another insane game from Phoenix. It looked like this might be a runaway. It really did. Just going back to Milwaukee, I think people thought they'd get one, but could they get two was the real question. And then obviously, so this starts at Sunday night. Um, Again, a couple of days of rest rather than just the one. So it's been kind of a spaced out finals. But Milwaukee, a very convincing game in that one. Giannis scores 41 again, but I think we even thrown out the legacy games, almost like the sidecar legacy games. That was the Bobby Portis game. He had a fantastic game in that one, and obviously Booker struggled in that one, which was a huge advantage for Milwaukee.
Yeah, well, I think it was like 3 or 14, had 10 points, like not his best effort. Because I remember
Yeah,
before game four, the graphics of Booker before the nose injury and after. So
the nose, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then also, I'm gonna say Middleton and Holiday, but mostly Middleton. Was way better. Like that, they weren't shooting 32% or whatever it was in game two. It was much improved because Giannis basically had the same game over again stat wise. To obviously will Milwaukee to a very I think it was about 20 points or so. The fourth quarter was kind of just a formality at that point. But it got them in the series. It got them, obviously used that game of things over. So it was an absolute must win there for the Bucks, which set up Wednesday night, which I mean, it's not even up for debate. The best game of the series so far. Really close. It was a game that it was just like I kept thinking, I'm like, Milwaukee can't close this out. They're not going to be able to do it. They were kind of trailing all game, less so than in games 1 and 2 where they were down, double digits a lot. It's just, they kept it pretty close for a while, and then were able obviously to make that turn late in the game. And this was despite a fantastic effort from Devin Booker. Again, got into early foul trouble, and there's just so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin in this game because the game itself was nuts. The fourth quarter was crazy. So it's like, I don't even know where to begin with this one.
I think we start with Booker, just like kind of going chronologically,
Yeah.
just the way that third quarter he absolutely took over despite the foul trouble. They
How
won.
many did you score? Was it 18?
I believe so. It was they had 30 points. They outscored
Yeah.
them 3-24. It was up 6 at the end of the first quarter, but I think it was pretty early on in the third. He picked up his fourth foul, and they took him out for a couple
Hmm.
minutes, and then it ended up getting really close because they were up by like 10 points when that happened, and then it was a huge run to get back in
Hmm.
for like 4. And they had to put Booker back in and
Yeah.
stabilize the offense and get things going. So at that point in the game, I
Yeah.
was like, man, if you're a Phoenix fan, because some of those fouls on him are really soft, like kind of like pulling the.
Yeah.
So then at the end of that third quarter, I'm like, damn, if I'm a Suns fan, I'd be so pissed at these referees right now. Like they really are trying to force a 2-2 series. And then the fourth quarter happened. And
Yeah.
I felt like an asshole saying that.
Yeah. Well, because yeah, and we'll get I think that's another
Especially
point to
the
just kind of
beginning.
focus on.
I said that right after because in the beginning of the fourth, he picked up his fifth on a flop by PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
And then they had to take him out, and it was like, oh god. So I think that was around the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
They're up by 5 points, and they took him out, and I was like, oh no. And then the game really flipped after that.
Right.
Referees.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Yeah, I remember we were texting the whole time, and it just seemed like a poorly. It was like weird. Like I was texting some other people too. I'm like, this game is weirdly being. They're letting him play, but also calling BS fouls at the same time. It makes no sense. Like there's almost no consistency. Like someone get mauled at the rim, they let it happen, and then like like these ticky tack fouls are happening on the perimeter. They're calling those. Jay Crowder's flopping all over the place. He's getting all the benefit of all those calls. So really just kind of a weird one officiating wise. And then kind of while we're on Booker here, I don't think I've ever seen a more blatant missed no call in my life. I mean, I think it really helped the case a little bit that Giannis just put it back. Like it kind of, but it's like dude's in midair. It's not even like oh, did you hit him on the wrist like when he was going up? Like did you get wrist or ball? Like that's something that's like obviously a bit more up for interpretations. Like dude went up for a layup and he was like trying to foul him. Why? I have no idea. But that was again as blatant as it gets as far as foul goes, which should have gotten him out of the game.
Yeah, because like we said, he got taken on the 10-minute mark, and due to the weird fouling of Bossman 99, he was flopping over the place. Just him hitting free throws.
Yeah.
I think Booker got taken on the 10-minute mark, back in at the 5-minute mark, and they're up by 5 when he left them when he came in. But they played exactly even just because of Crowder. And then after that, I think the offense just for Devin Booker to save them. And he just he did all he could, but like if he missed a shot, I feel like it's the end of the world. And like you said, he turned over the ball. And I think he was just panicking because he's like, oh crap, like what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And he just hacked him. I don't know what he was thinking. And it just
absolutely
crazy. You froze.
Yeah, so again, I don't really know what he was thinking either. But again, it's another call that I don't know how it was really missed because it's I don't know. Just I couldn't I don't know what was going through his head or the rest of when that happened. But again, luckily Giannis for the Bucks side, Giannis was able to get the putback anyway, so you kind of got your points there. But again, I think a lot of people at that time, you'd rather sacrifice the 2 points to get Devin Booker out of the game because he was the only one kind of killing you at that point. And then obviously, again, just there's so much to go over, but I guess we'll go to kind of the person who kind of went in a way shot for shot with Booker, but like his I think he was more the fourth and the third was Chris Middleton. He went off this game. It was an absolute great game from him because Giannis played well, and we'll get to kind of his big moment in a little bit here, but Giannis wasn't at the 40-point level. I think he hit up at 26. So you really needed that extra piece there to work. We're not getting it from Drew Holiday, at least on the offensive end. He did play really good defense, but so it had to be Middleton. And every shot that like could have gone either way, he hit. He knocked him down.
Yeah, it was. I think like the start of that fourth quarter was a lot of anytime they would get a stop and try to tie the game, they wouldn't execute. But then we got on 4, and then Middleton would bail them out on a bad possession, hitting a great shot. And
yeah, exactly.
And then kind of like right when that whole like missed foul happened, that's when Middleton became automatic. So definitely shout out to Pat Connaughton because he was the one that hit the 3.
I was gonna say,
yeah. And right after that, Middleton just like, okay, once he smelled the lead, he was like, I'm not missing a shot the rest of the game, and he was just automatic. I mean, any mid range,
right?
That's the thing I like. It was just 2 mid range kings going off.
I know it's really funny. But yeah, that's almost what I want to say. Almost how I said Bobby Portis was the sidecar game in game 3. That was Pat Connaughton in game 4. He had some big shots for them. There were some that, Middleton couldn't quite get open. Giannis couldn't get open. And, or like they draw all of the defense into the paint, kick out wide open 3. It's like those ones you got to knock down. And he really knocked most of them down. So,
Massachusetts own.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I also realized we're the same year too. So, one of my buddies, Mike texted me. He's like, "Oh, did you play against him and anything in high school?" I'm like, "Unfortunately, no." But no, yeah, but he had a great game, and yeah, they got the shots they needed down the stretch, but it was like it just kept being like, I'm like, they're not gonna be able. They can't close this gap. They keep getting it to like 3 points or whatever the case might be, and obviously, I think another huge part of this quarter was the lack of greatness out of Chris Paul.
I was gonna say dialogue.
I mean, again, one game, but yeah, I mean, it was not the best look there. Obviously, historic career. You're 36 years old now. He's gonna get in the Hall of Fame right away. But and even so, I think he's had really good moments in this playoffs. He's had good games, especially in the uh what's what I'm looking for, especially in like the conference final, like that closeout game against the Clippers. He was awesome. Um, but like not even like just the poor shooting, which obviously isn't great, it's the turnovers, which again something he's usually not known for. And that one late in the game where he kind of just like looks like he like blew a tire and just like fell out and went the other way. Yeah, I mean those are huge plays for them. That like again they go a different way, and the Suns could be looking at a 3-1 lead here. But yeah, really just not great basketball from CP3.
Yeah, especially at the end when they kind of needed one last bucket after. We'll get to this play, but after that play on defense, he went down by 4, and he needed just a quick basket to get it back to him one position.
Mm-hmm.
He just
Yeah.
slipped and was flipping it right back to Giannis. So it just
Yeah, it was just
turnovers. Like he just got the double digits because he went coast to coast at the end of the game to cut it to 6 points. Like I don't know, he just did not look right out there.
yeah, for sure. And I'd even say that too. Like, I mean, again, like you said, Boss Man 99 was getting to the free throw line, and Booker was obviously awesome. But there were moments at them like, okay, when's it coming? When's like the Suns like backbreaker 3 happening with whether it be Campaign, who did have some good plays like Campaign or Cam Johnson or Bridges, and you're like, when is this 3 going to go down? And none of them did. And that's when you need guys like Chris Paul to kind of step up, and he wasn't able to do so there. But and it's funny too because we've definitely seen adjustments in the series. Because again, I think Brook Lopez is a great moments in this playoffs, but they've really shifted more to this Giannis at the 5 or Bobby Portis at the 5 situation to kind of be able to run with Aiden, because it just seems like Lopez is someone who, for the most part, can't really keep up with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was kind of doing whatever he wanted in Phoenix. They really needed to make an adjustment, and it seemed like Bud finally has made one.
I mean, he's still starting Lopez, but I mean, Portis and Giannis are probably playing majority of the minutes at the 5.
Sort of more like continuity thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like Portis coming off the bench, like stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think yeah, we've covered a lot of points of this game, and I think we have to get to it. That play, it's funny because it almost got glossed over at the time. Like I was like, is no one talking about how awesome that play? Like I feel like we just like. I know there was like a few plays that happened after that, but I was even showing Caitlin a replay last night because she was obviously in bed on Wednesday night. But like I was going to show replay, and I'm like, wait, they just cut right to commercial. They don't even show replay. Like going to commercial, they show like a different. They showed like it might have been the Chris Paul play. I can't even remember. They showed
because it was block.
Yeah,
it was the block. Middleton scored, and they came back down, and then Paul like dribbled off his foot in that foul. I don't think they went to commercial.
Yeah, so they just didn't show it because I'm like, I don't think we're realizing like, yeah, the Bucks are on an amazing run right now, but I don't think we just like realize what just happened there. And especially the slow-mo replays, and I know this tweet's probably kind of made its way around, but like defending the alley and the oop, is just insane. He's with Booker the whole time. Then he like turns around, like it's like again watching the slow-mo replay, all the different angles. It's insane. It's one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how far like we can just jump to any conclusion on anything. Like I think it was like game 2 of the second round where I think like they got blown out by like a hard endless Nets team. I thought some people was like, oh yeah, I hate to have Chris Middleton, like be a fan of Chris Middleton, scores 42 points. It was
right
game 5 of that series. Like Kevin Durant goes off, and it's like, wow. Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time MVP. Giannis can't stop him. It's like what he had was one of the most unconscious nights I've ever seen in my life. So like,
also probably like the second best player in the league post like Kobe. Like I don't know where you were to draw the line, but like it's him and LeBron the last like 10 years, no question.
So like, I think just set the bar way too high and overreact. We just gotta like appreciate like how many players can do that. Like that was an absolute incredible play. Just like the fact that he had the presence of mind, saying like, oh yeah, like I felt Aiden slipping, so like. He just like knew to bail on Booker because he knew like when he was going up, it wasn't a shot, it was an alley, so he knew to like get back and just like not go.
I mean, yeah. I think someone brought up too that like he's probably the only person in the league who could have done that.
Yeah, LeBron can do that.
Like, I don't think KD's the defender, but like maybe him just like with the size and length and athleticism, like maybe, but like no one. Like anyone his height isn't that athletic, or anyone that athletic isn't that tall. So it's just like he might truly be the only person in the league that could have pulled that off. And just like again, I think they were even talking about on PMT yesterday. Just like It might be the highest block we've ever seen. It's like it was well above the rim when this block happened. It's insane. So yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
go ahead.
remember I saw him like go for a lob. I'm like, ooh, that's a good like after timeout play. And then I was
Yeah.
like, maybe a little high, but it's 8, and he's gonna dunk it. And then all of a sudden, I see his hand come in. What?
Yeah, it's like, wait, did he really get there in time? Like, and I'm like, oh, he must have fouled him, right? I'm like, oh no, he got all ball, and it went the other way. Like I said, that really turned because, like you said, it was a 2 point game at that point, and then that made it 4, right?
It was a 2-point game. Then they went down and scored. Went up by 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's again, that's the swing in the game there because you're talking about that block doesn't happen. It's a tie game. Instead, you're up. You go the other way. You're up 4. That again, that 4-point swing is about as big as it gets at that point.
Dunk there, maybe you're a little bit more locked in on defense instead of like on your heels.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that was a huge momentum shifting play, series shifting play there. And yeah, I mean, I know there's already like people. It's tough not to be a prisoner of the moment, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's the magnitude of LeBron's block in Game 7 in 2016 was obviously bigger, but like this is, I think, a more impressive play, like a feat of athleticism. Like LeBron just hustled. He hustled, and obviously, that jump from where he jumped from is obviously very athletic. But like again, Giannis defending both parts of this play and getting as high as that, it's just insane. And he also had that track down block in, I can't remember what game it was, Game 2. That was very similar to what LeBron did. So yeah, Giannis really showing off the defense on top. Again, I know it's kind of a joke, but the legacy, like I feel like his whole thing has been he doesn't show up in the big moments, he can't win the big games, and obviously he still has to win 2 more. But I mean, we're seeing a great performance, and I think something that a lot of people, you talked about the whole thing with KD in the Brooklyn series, but I think a lot of people doubted this. And if they lose this series, I don't think it's going to be because of Giannis. It hasn't been yet. He's been the reason they're in this so far.
And people forget his knee was in a different direction 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, really not that long ago. I was like, yeah, we made 2 different picks on this series because of we're like, okay, is he gonna play or not? So yeah, that made all the difference in the world. Because again, because I think even though you lost Game 2, it's like you had some momentum there. You're like, all right, well, like you said, Mike, like Phoenix shot like 50% from 3, and whatever. We still only lost by 7. I can't remember what it ended up being, like 10 points. I think it's like, all right, well, yeah, Giannis he's back. He's playing well. Drew and Chris had an off night. They shot the lights out, and we still didn't get killed. So it's like, all right, let's build on that going home. If you don't get that game out of him, like if he's not there, this might have been 4 or 5 games. We might have had Suns in 4. So yeah, he's turning the tide here, and yeah, if he could pull this off, I think he's already like cemented some sort of legacy here. So obviously, yeah, just an insane game, best game of the series so far. A lot of craziness. Again, with just the foul, because Booker actually ended up. What was that other play? I can't even remember. He definitely fouled again, and they didn't call it. I can't remember what the play was.
Yeah, that was like at the end of the game when it was already like over.
Yeah, and they still didn't call it. So it's like, yeah, you could argue he had like 7 fouls. I know some early ones were ticky tack, but it was like, man, well, you got those made up for at the end. So between
I think it was
that insane
after the Paul turnover. Yeah, another 3-on-1. This time he didn't hack. He just jumped straight up. But I think he tried to jump straight up this time, but I think he kind of like leaned in.
Yeah.
But I think
that ended with like a Middleton layup or something.
Yeah, I think it would have been an and one.
Yeah.
I think at that point it was either 6 or 7, and then
yeah. I'm saying any sort of like gripe that they had about ticky-tack fouls, like you said, that quickly turned at the end of that game. But yeah, so Milwaukee able to come away with the victory there. The Giannis block, Middleton scoring 40, and then Pat Connaughton off the bench. Drew, like I said, I don't know. If I was in Milwaukee, his defense is buying him a lot of goodwill, because if it weren't for that, he would be completely useless out there, because he's locking it up on the perimeter. What's that?
I mean, he's locking up Chris Paul, but he wasn't really locking up Booker.
I get, but I mean, like he's making plays. He's like on help defense. Hey, I'm actually the one that you've seen my text. I'm giving him a ton of crap. I'm just saying, like, that's got to be the only thing. I'm like, is Drew even good?
I just the phrase "lock up the perimeter" when one guy as a guard has 42 points. It's kind of hard to say that.
Well, yeah, maybe not in that. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. But it's weird because I'm noticing plays he's making on defense.
No,
it's really more what I'm saying.
It's not on the box score.
Guard defense doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird because I think it's one of those with Drew too. I feel like it's one of those things where he was like this like underrated player for so long because he was on like terrible teams. And now that he's in the spot, you're like, wait, is he even good? Like, it's like, yeah, when he was down in New Orleans, like on these like teams that aren't making the playoffs, it's like, oh, you know, he's actually a good player, Drew Holiday. And now it's like, now he's like a third piece on a hopeful championship team, and you're just like seeing a lot of the faults of his game. You're like, are you seeing all of these Eric Bledsoe tweets out there?
Yeah.
It's like, was that much of an upgrade? But yeah, not to be too mean to Drew, but yeah. So again, they just need to keep it going. If you're Milwaukee and then if you're Phoenix, hopefully going back to the desert will help you out here. And I'm excited. I'm glad we have a 2-2 series. We're guaranteed 2 more games of this. This could definitely be a series that I could see Phoenix winning tonight, Milwaukee winning on Tuesday, and really just making this a game 7. And yeah, it could be a series where the home team just wins every game. But I'm just excited that we didn't get like I was really pulling hard for Milwaukee in game 4 just because I'm like, I want a series here. And I know, again, like we said before, I'd be perfectly fine with either team winning this series. So awesome that we have a game 5 tonight. What'd you say?
What's your prediction? Or like a loose prediction?
For tonight or for the series?
Oh.
I think the Suns will win tonight, but I think Phoenix Milwaukee's going to win the last 2. Bucks at 7. I'm going to stick with my original pick.
Yeah, I'm going to even weasel out of it. I'm going to say Suns are winning tonight, and then game 6 is game 7.
Game 6 is game 7. Okay, yeah. So that's pretty much what I'm. Yeah, okay. Nah.
I think we're saying the same.
It's like, yeah, I see what you're saying. A little bit more disclaimer on it because then you're like, oh, well, the Suns could win game 6, but if the Bucks win, they're going to win game 7.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, depending on how things shape up, if we do see a split in these next 2 games, we'll probably have a episode right before game 7, provided nothing crazy happens on Wednesday night with our schedules. But because that'd be crazy to kind of have that to preview. But and we'll obviously would have had 2 games. Well, either way, we'll have 2 games to recap. Yeah. It's whether there's another one happening. But yeah, that'd be my official guess. I don't know. It's tough because part of me wants to just say Bucks are going to do the old like Miami Heat. Yeah, like win all 4, but I don't know. Part of me, it's just because maybe that's what I want to see happen is have it go 7. So yeah, we'll see. Again, good game 5 tonight.
No, I expect a bounce back game 4 tonight.
Bounce back game 4. I don't even know if he was bad. I was gonna say Aiden, but I'm like, I don't even know if he was just like fine. He wasn't bad.
He wasn't scoring 4, but
campaign.
No.
Cam Johnson. So I'm just stop guessing.
Bridges.
I was like running down the list. So wait, I should have said Bridges because yeah, he's been quiet the last couple of games.
Yeah, so he had 7 in game 4, 4 in game 3, and then he had great radio here 27 and
Mike Francesa.
Yeah. And then in game 1 he had 14. So
okay,
role players at home. I just think it.
I was just say I could also see a Chris Middleton stinker tonight. I don't know why.
Yeah, I get that. So like I don't know. Like I think after like games 1 and 2, I think Trilly was like, "Watch out, sneaky and Finals MVP could be Mikal Bridges." Like
I was listening to him a little on.
So I think he was guarding. He guarded Middleton a lot in that game, in game 2. So it's like you can prove like just averaging like 15 to 20 points and locking up a perimeter guy can win you a Finals MVP, a la Andre Iguodala.
If no one else jumps off the page, I mean, I think It was funny because I listened to him the other day, and he's just like, "Well, that looks terrible."
That 4 points in game 3 definitely got rid of that.
Also, I think Booker obviously had a great game in game 4. I don't know. I feel like the Suns win. It's going to be because of him, so he probably won it as much as people like Ryan Russillo probably wanted to go to Chris Paul if they win. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Drew's definitely going to be awful tonight, just because that's what he does. Again, on the offensive end, I can't believe like the wide open layups. It's like weird, but then he'll like do a reverse and it'll go in. It makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go Suns Bucks for the rest of the series.
Pretty much plus 120 Giannis, plus 155 Chris Paul, plus 200 Booker.
That's good value.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think the Bucks are going to win the series, though. Otherwise, I might do that. Because if the Bucks win, it's 100% going to be Giannis.
Yeah.
Unless Chris Middleton puts up like 350 burgers in a row and Giannis stinks. What'd you say?
He's plus 2,000.
Chris Middleton?
Yeah.
Plus 2,000?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. No, it will 100% be honest, but like, I'm like, no, what if he, I don't know. I don't want this to happen. I want a great series. What if his knee acts up and then Chris Middleton has to come and save the day?
10 to win 200.
Not bad.
Well, he's going to need another 40-point game.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I guess I'm saying, like, what if, Giannis's knee acts up tonight. He doesn't play again. The Bucks win the series.
They lose tonight, and Middleton, and he's out for the series. And then game 6 and 7, Middleton drops 40 burgers.
Yeah, I think he would win. It's tough because I'm like, you could still probably make a case for Giannis just early in the series and then that block too.
I mean,
but
he's healthy.
No, he's pretty damn healthy.
2019.
Yeah, he's pretty damn healthy. 2018-19 Kawhi, yeah. But yeah, that's awesome. Got a good game tonight. So pumped we have a good series. I will say kind of this, I think this will be a good transition. My one complaint, not really one complaint, really just what I'm looking forward to is the schedule, hopefully going back to normal next year. Because I got to say, I'm happy that game 4 was as good as it was because it's the NBA Finals and I knew I was going to get back into it, but my brain shifted gears completely on Monday and Tuesday. I'm like, I am all in on baseball. That's my focus right now. I was like, oh yeah, the finals are still happening. I'm like, all right, yeah, I guess I'll put this on. And then I was like, okay, no, back in. I'm back in. Like, it's just like, I hate the crossover there. Baseball usually on by itself at this time.
Yeah, and then the fact that there's Olympics coming up too, and 3 guys are playing the finals right now, and like
you're right. Wait, we'll wait to transition to baseball because we have to talk about the debacle that is USA basketball right now. So we were out last Saturday, and I remember being at the bar. And I just showed you the phone that we lost to Nigeria. Then we lose to Australia. So it's 2 exhibitions in a row. I don't think it's ever happened. And then
since the Dream Team lost 2 games before this.
Yeah, not including that weird FIBA Cup we had with like the Celtics essentially. Yeah, exhibitions, right? Yeah, exactly. That's true because they lost in 04 as well. But yeah, so those 2 losses happen. Obviously, I mean, I don't think you should lose at all, but I can kind of rationalize the Australia one. Nigeria does seem like a young up and coming team. But Australia has NBA guys on their team. Like, all right, there's some sort of argument here. But not after the Nigeria loss. It was just like, are we kidding? And then between COVID and injuries and all this stuff, I think at one point, Mike, we had 6 players on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Because of, like you said, there's no way all 3 guys are playing in the Olympics, right? In the finals right now. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah, like I don't see how that can happen.
I think the winner, if you're the winner, you're going to want to go parade, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, I still don't know why they said they'd play if they were going to be in the finals.
Yeah, because they like committed like it wasn't that long ago.
It was after it was set.
The finals. Yeah, exactly. It was like very recent. I don't know. I have to go on a semi-rant here. Like, what? Not even the losses. I'm like, all right, whatever. We'll figure it out. But like, we have a lot of young, talented players on this. Like, I feel like I was telling you yesterday. Like, think about like the magnitude of players, how good they were back in 08 and in 2012. That just didn't make the team. Like really, really, really good players. You go all the way back to Isaiah 92. I know there was the whole thing with Jordan there. It's just like he's a Hall of Famer and he didn't make the Olympic team. And now we're rolling out Keldon Johnson and JaVale McGee as replacements. I know Keldon's a nice young player, but we're not even talking like Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball. Like one of them, fine, sure. Like they're young, but like all right, but like Keldon Johnson, he's like a role player. Like I don't. And then JaVale, like again, I love JaVale, but what's he doing on Team USA in the Olympics? Like, how are we not finding anyone else? I know it's a weird year and everything, but
like Trey, like why aren't they playing?
Yeah, Ja's being a bit of a baby. I showed you that tweet yesterday. I'm pretty sure that's what that's about. Like, you're gonna hit me up there. It's like, yeah, sorry, we didn't think you were a top 12 American player right like at the beginning, and then I don't know. Like, we think you're like on that next tier. So when someone backs out, I mean, I also didn't know what Kevin Love was doing on the team. But right now, I'd kind of kill for Kevin Love on the team. Like, all right, at least there's like, what's that?
Yeah, he just backed out. So
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. First, I was like, "Oh, what's he doing at the team?" Now I almost want him back. Can we get like Joe Harris out there? Like, what are you pointing at?
7.
7. Oh yeah, well, obviously I want Carmelo on the team. I said we should go Mello, get them both going. Young Mello, old Mello. But I just think that like I could name so many people off the top of my head that I think would be better like on this team. Just like not even like the big names. Like I'm not even saying like Zion. Like yeah, he probably wants to keep the knee healthy and all that stuff. But like I think there's good players that you could find, and I'm just like, what is happening here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so like that's just because I don't think there's any way all three of them play.
No, probably not.
Because like Greeny pointed out the other day, I never even thought of that. Like, oh yeah, sure, the series will win, but one of you is going to win. So especially if it goes to game 7, that'd be the only scenario is if a team wins the next 2 games and then it's over Tuesday. Maybe you have your parade Thursday and then you fly to Tokyo. Like I don't know, but because like I could see it both ways. If you lose, like you're probably gonna be like pissed. You don't want to then just go play again. And then if you win, you're gonna want to do the parade. So I don't think there's any way 3 out of 3 play. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but
Like,
no, I don't hope I'm wrong. I don't want them to
back parade to like August, but
yeah, but even then, that's like no. You want to do it like 2-3 days after. Yeah. So yeah, because I didn't even think about that aspect of it, but because and then Tatum's got like a knee thing or something, which I'm sure a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of people here don't want him to play. I'm sure he'll do. I'm sure he'll be smart about it. But he's smart. Like put him out there. Like I don't know.
One thing I don't care about is again might not be healthy, but he's like working out just with Udoka. So like okay, like that's my thing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he's working with the head coach. I'm just like thinking of Colin Sexton. Like he'd be awesome. Like I don't know. I'm like thinking of like there's a lot of like young talented players that I'm like if you could throw out there ahead of JaVale McGee and Keldon Johnson. But hey, I mean we still got Durant, which is awesome for De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, Trey. I don't know what happened with him. If he was injured though, so I kind of get that one.
I just saw him tweet the Isaiah. Yeah. I met the criteria.
Yeah. Like, come on, Trey, you could play. I have a hard time.
No, I took that as like I want to play.
Is Pop just messing up this? All right, apologies for the tech issues there. I'm just saying, is Pop messing this whole roster up? Is that what's happening? We didn't have this problem with Coach K. As much as I love, hating on him.
Yeah, I know. The team went smooth there.
Yeah, it did. And I mean, I think it's just a weird year, honestly. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm like, we should just throw out like the all NCAA team, see how we do. But I mean, like I said, we have Durant and Beal's not there anymore, Lillard and all that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, just complete. It just like I can't believe because I thought 2016 was a huge downgrade from the 2 teams we saw before that, and even they rolled through the Olympics. Like we had Harrison Barnes on that team, but this is like again this one's more top heavy. I feel like we have like really good guys at the top, and then a bit of a drop down there. But yeah, we'll see. Also, what's Russ up to? I guess like once you get to a certain age, sometimes, but
be okay. Like let someone else win a gold medal.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, just craziness happening right now. But yeah, kind of as I was saying before, Mike, definitely shifted a bit more into baseball mode this week. We had our usual All-Star week with the Derby and the All-Star game that happened post-draft on Sunday night, which I guess we should briefly talk about, at least from a Red Sox perspective.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jack Leiter going number 2, a huge disappointment. But the part I didn't get, and I think this Meyer kid is going to be awesome. Seems like we got a guy that could have got number 1 overall and got him at number 4. And you do kind of have to go best player available situation. But it's just weird to me because I feel like a year ago we were like, oh, we're not bad enough to get Kumar. We're not going to be bad enough to get Kumar. We're going to have to settle for Jack Leiter. And then now it's like, no, we don't want him. Like, we're just going to not pick Kumar Rocker.
Well, scouting reports.
And maybe you could explain that, yeah.
Scouting report says there was a couple ticks off his fastball last year.
The velo's down?
The velo went down a couple miles an hour in his senior year of college.
Okay.
So it seemed like kind of like, yeah, he's good, but like if that's going to be a problem long term, it's hard to invest that like top 5 like slot money in there. Yeah. So take the shortstop, 18 years old, like Brandon Crawford was an all-star. His comp, I know these comps are kind of baloney, like this far out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the pick. If you couldn't, like, of course, I like Leiter. I was definitely watching the College World Series. Way more impressed with Leiter than Rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that was my only,
not really
my,
like a mix. So
yeah. No, that was my only real complaint with it. I mean, because other than that, like, if like Kumar wasn't in this draft, I would have been like through the moon about it. Because I know it's not really it's not a league where you draft for a position, right? It's not the NFL, it's not the NBA. Like, you got to take the best player available. What's that?
unless you're the Angels,
Well, 17 pitchers in a row, or
either 17 or 20. One of the two.
yeah, all pitchers. I mean, I respect that. That's pretty funny. But
Yeah,
but like, yeah, I mean,
you better draft best available. If not, do that. Like, don't be like,
right. I'm just saying, like, yeah, we can't be like, oh, we can't pick a shortstop because we've Xander Bogaerts, because it's like, again, you'll figure something out.
And if
That's a good. It's yeah.
he gets up when he's like 8 and 20 and 21, that's a good problem to have. Like, whether you
That's what I was just gonna say.
you
Yeah,
put
good problem to
Tanner
have.
in second base, like, it's so
You move people around, or he's a chip. You know what I mean? You get like an amazing player.
Bryce
and he's
Harper.
the lead
Bryce
chip.
Harper was the catcher. Mookie Betts was the second baseman. Like,
Mookie Betts was a second baseman. People forget that, Mike. Yeah, you could definitely move him. Yeah, that's yeah. You're drafting the bat at that point. So yeah, I think Meyer. Yeah, that was my only issue with it, was like I didn't get the Kumar thing, but if the
Yeah,
scouting report's saying
very
that,
cool. Apparently, Myers' last at bat in high school was a grand slam. So
his last hit was a grand slam.
yeah, well, at bat too.
Oh, at bat! Wow, jeez, that is pretty awesome. And then obviously, so then Kumar goes to the Mets, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so
They just like they fell in their lap.
yeah, because I think that was 10. I think they agreed to pay him a little bit higher than his slot money too. So
Yeah,
probably like around like 7.
that's probably over the moon.
Yeah, so that's pretty happy. Got another arm in there. That's the one they know how to get arms. Red Sox don't.
Yeah.
But so I think it's a good fit for them.
I said this back in 2015. I mean, granted, it was the year we ended up signing Hanley, who kind of worked out, and Sandoval. But I was like, I remember I was talking with my buddy Hockey, and I was like, I feel like the Mets and Red Sox just need to combine teams, and we'd be unstoppable. Like if we had the Red Sox lineup and the Mets pitching staff. But yeah, because again, yeah, the Mets have another arm. It's just kind of getting that lineup together. But because who was it that Henry Davis, is he the one that ended up going?
Henry Davis got
Do I have that name right?
Again, I think that was more of
Yeah,
what the Pirates can afford.
the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Which is just insane.
I mean,
it's insane to me that's how
60. So like he's no slouch. But
yeah.
he was.
No, I know, but it's just like in
A lot of mocks had the
sorry,
Red Sox taking him at 4. Once, like, I think at a certain point they
Yeah.
realized Leiter wasn't going to get past the Rangers, because like there was talks for months that Leiter's going to go to the Red Sox. And like a week before, it was like,
four,
he's going to get the Rangers. So
yeah, for sure. And no, that's like, again, that's just like wild to me, because imagine hearing about that and like the NFL or NBA. It's like, well, Pelicans can't really afford Zion, so they're going to draft like, Cam Reddish number, like, you know what I mean? Just like it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why don't you just trade at that point?
Mm-hmm.
But I know that doesn't really happen as much in baseball. But yeah, that was funny. And that was obviously Leiter 2, and then 3 was I can't remember his name.
I forget.
Again, clearly not as memorable as the NBA and NFL draft.
I just know the guy that
Those are kind of the highlights.
I just know the guy that went 5th didn't know he was out an unknown number and didn't expect to go in the top 5, so he didn't answer his phone. But it was just the Orioles.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, those are the highlights for me. I just remembered. Yeah, Davis went 1, Leiter went 2, Meyer went 4, and then Rocker went 10.
I forget his name. I think the Tigers are like a high school pitching prospect that seemed like a little bit too high.
Okay, yeah. And then we got that kid from Florida in the second.
Florida
round,
outfielder. They said like,
Judd.
Yeah. Like, and again, that's another good pick. Like he hit like a couple tanks off Leiter from that because he was Florida.
Yeah, jeez. SEC.
And like they said, he was like a late first rounder that we were happy to get in the second round. So back-to-back drafts with Kime, I'm really liking, because of how we got, what was his name? Blaze Jordan in the second round when he was a first round talent last year. And even that York guy they said we kind of reached for apparently is killing it in like Greenville or something. So 2 good drafts.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think now we can move on to All-Star Week. So that's kind of, again, the lead in. It happened on Sunday night, of course. Actually, that's one last thing. Like, I think people are being a little bit too hard on baseball. They're like, oh, classic baseball, having the draft the same night as the NBA Finals. Like, well, it's not usually now. It's like, I think in the future, that'll be a great transition. You have the futures game leading into the draft, and then home run derby. It's like, well, they were going to have it during the home run derby. Like, doesn't make, or like before. I don't know. I think people are being a little too hard on them on that. It's like, well, sorry that like our week got like disrupted by the NBA, like
Yeah.
being delayed. So I think that's one thing I have to defend a little bit. Then we obviously had the home run derby on Monday night. That's why, and Mike, I was texting you beforehand. I hadn't thrown some money down in a while. I was like ready to do it. I was like, oh, maybe I'll check out some of these matchups. And I'm glad I didn't do it because these lines were insane and none of them worked. Essentially, like all the favorites were heavy favorites, and I think most of them lost. Right? Everyone but Alonso.
Alonso was a 5.
No, but he was the favorite in the betting wise, right?
I forget. Probably.
He was definitely the favorite. Yeah. He was the 5 seed because of the total homers hit. But I think as far as the betting goes, like there are people like a minus 300, I think it was. And like, so between
minus 330.
Yeah, because it was like Otani, Gallo, and Olsen.
I have it. Minus 330, Alonso minus 245, Gallo minus 210, Olsen minus 200.
Tech issues continue on my end, but let's hop back into the derby here. So yeah, again, we had a first round where, I mean, yeah, a lot of the lower seeds won. And I do have to give it, or I guess all the lower seeds won because again, Alonso was as well. So I went in, I picked Otani to start just because it seemed like it's his week, but I feel like I have to remember that doesn't quite happen because I feel like we had the Vlad Jr. coming up party 2 years ago. Pete Alonso won that one, so it's like I don't know. I'll have to read it a little bit differently going forward here. But anyway, we had again the first round because who went first? Was it Olsen or Mancini? I guess went first. Yeah. So Mancini and Olsen went first. Trey Mancini comes up ahead in that one.
One home run.
What's that?
Yeah, the Mancini and Story both won by the skin of their teeth. It was a lot of like late like bonus rounds, like Olsen and Gallo both on fire, but just for one home run short.
Yeah. Then we had the Pete Alonso Salvador Perez matchup. I was not giving Salvia a lot of credit going into this one, and really the only thing that went wrong for him is that he was matched up against Pete Alonso because he would have made it to the next round had he faced anybody else, right? Like
like a consolation show with no pressure. He had 28 home runs, but I think the story of the night there was Dave Jones.
Oh well, yeah, he was firing him in there. Yeah, like did you see that like heat map?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They were all like chest high, like right in the middle of the plate, like every single pitch. Yeah, so Pete obviously had an insane first round. Like I said, Perez, he was awesome. He just got overshadowed because he followed up the 35 home runs. So and he hit, what did he end up with? 28?
28, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, beat everyone else in that first round. It just due to the format, obviously, does not make it to the second. And then instead of the most insane matchup of the first round, which was the 8-1 matchup of Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani. So Soto came out of the gate pretty hot. And then Ohtani came out. I feel bad because everyone's ripping this guy. I actually, again, worked with him on the Cape in 2014. Jason Brown, great guy. People were giving him some crap. But to be fair, Ohtani hasn't taken BP all year. I probably should have considered that too with my pick. But it was like ripping doubles down the line for the first like 2 minutes, essentially. And I think the story with Ohtani the whole time, because he kept going second, was he just started slow. Then he comes all the way back, and then it's like, okay, now you have like 20 seconds. You just need one more. And he couldn't do it. Like twice it happened where he started slow. Then he comes all the way back, ties Soto. It's like, okay, you have like 5 pitches here to knock one out, and he just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then got to the swing off, and Soto is just, I think most impressive the fact that he was just with ease, just flicking his wrist and hitting balls to dead center and left field that entire
hit the over, right?
Yeah,
by half a foot.
Yeah, well, not for Ryan though. You got
a you got a 520
3 or something.
0.5. Oh, geez. Yeah, I just know where I got Kyle on Twitter. I've had it at 519 and a half. So
that was like the main one that everyone got.
Jeez, that's scary though, because it like barely went, like one home run barely went over that. So it's like
it was inflated because of course. So
yeah, but still. But yeah, so obviously like the first one was not the same thing. Pretty much happened in the second round, tiebreaker, and then swing off. Soto just goes 3 for 3, and then I think Ohtani ripped the first pitch down the line. Like, yeah. So yeah, it just sucked because it would have been awesome to see him like go at least far in this thing. It just he kept being one home run short. He just like it was insane. It's not even like, oh, he hit a buzzer beater to tie it. It's like, no, he was up and had several chances to get it there, and he just couldn't hit one more in both time frames there. But then that's up the second round, which I feel like went by in like a flash. It was so like,
Yeah, everyone except for Alonso was kind of just recuperating. So
yeah.
like
So
Story dragged his feet for only 12. Mancini barely beat him with 13. And then Soto was just very tired. I think he only had like 14 himself, and Alonso just
yeah, Pete stopped pretty early into it. I think he had to go to the bonus, like the automatic bonus round, and he hit
no,
like,
no, he was 1 to tie, 2 to beat him with like a minute left, and he still had his timeout. So he just called his timeout.
Oh, it was the timeout. Okay,
He called
that's
his
what
timeout
it was.
from the crowd and just hit 2 home runs right away to
Yeah. Yeah, and then that set up the final, and Trey Mancini came out of the gate hot in the final. I can't remember the exact number he put up, but it was impressive. He was just like,
he really slowed down at the end. I had a feeling he was going to need like 25 to 28 to win, but
it was. I can't remember what I compared it to. That I'm like Trey Mancini. Oh, it feels like I was like, oh, in high school, like I feel like he never, like when you're swinging the aluminum bat, and like every now and then you'd get the one that like vibrated all the way up into your hands, and like it just felt awful. I feel like he never did that because all of his swings were just perfect, barrel of the bat every time, launching them into left field or and everything. And he put up, yeah, again, a really impressive effort. And again, if you're facing any other human, you probably are much more competitive in that final round. And he made Pete work. He made Pete put up numbers, but obviously he came away the winner in that. That's where I think he had to go into a bit into his overtime, but it was still somewhat easy for him to win that matchup. He had time on the clock.
yeah, no, it's such a great
yeah,
story, the whole cancer diagnosis too. So
right, exactly. I was really pulling for him. I was.
Alonso's just too good at this stuff.
Yeah. I almost like, which I wish I could retroactively go back and because I love Pete. It's like it's tough because I love Vladdy Jr., but I was actually rooting for Pete 2 years ago. Now I'm like, well, now I wish Vlad won that one because I would have been fine with Pete winning this.
Well, remember we all had money on Pete that year. So.
Is that what it was? Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes way more sense. Then never mind, I take that back. But yeah, would have been an awesome story. Still is an awesome story for Trey Mancini. Obviously a fantastic player and just so great to see him back and doing that well. But yeah, it was Pete that came away with his second straight since there was no Derby last year. But no, fun night. I mean, I know a lot of people complain about either the broadcast or the rules or whatever. I still think I love the clock. But
the broadcast stunk, but everything else about it is good.
Yeah, well, one, we need Berman back first of all.
I just the screen because like you couldn't like see it. Like it was trying.
It was tough. Yeah. And the only thing I'll give them is like, yeah, they didn't do that back in the day, but I feel like it was less hectic because you had outs. It was like pitch, home run, okay, recuperate, throw the ball. And now it's like you have to, the camera has to be able to show you the shot and then also show them hitting again. So it is kind of tough. I will cut them some slack there. The other and I definitely like the clock. I feel like the rules got more complicated than when they first put the clock into play, but I don't know. But yeah, then I guess we won't spend a lot of time on this, but then we had the playing of the celebrity game at night. I do want to point out the Kirkshin and Kirkshin booth, which is pretty cool. Quavo just doing his thing out there, which was awesome. DK Metcalf striking out twice somehow on slow pitch softball.
He was trying to. I don't know what he was doing. Same with Kamara Brown.
He had a rough showing in the field there. He bounced back a little towards the end of the game, but nothing
like an RBI double.
Yeah, that thing's always. Yeah, that thing's always fun to watch. Mackey just running all over the place.
Yeah,
busy man. He was in what, like LA on Saturday night, and then in
Colorado,
Denver on Sunday night.
Who was it? Vinny Castillo just cranking, almost hitting it out of the park.
Just launching dingers, yeah. That's all. That's the best when you get the old baseball players that are like, no, I'm still really good. I just I can't run as much, but I'm still it's still like.
He's like, how is Hunter Pence eligible to play in this game? He seems way too young.
Who said that?
Ryan.
Oh yeah, I know. You retired last year, right? But yeah, no, it's always fun to just throw on. I was doing laundry. I was like, oh yeah, this is fun having in the background. A lot of TikTok people, which I'm not 100%
I know who
aware of, but I actually weirdly do know some of them are because I know that JoJo Siwa person was like on kid shows, right? And then
She she had a good swing.
she had a good game. She played well. Yeah, she ripped that one into left. What's his name? Josh Richards is that show with Portnoy.
Yeah.
And I've heard of that Beck kid as well. But yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun to see kind of a. We gotta get a Boston guy out there. I feel like the Miz is there every year for some reason.
Yeah, he was a tryhard.
Yeah, he was yelling on the broadcast. I'm like, dude, just relax.
You're not even playing.
You're not even playing. Exactly. Who else was there but not playing? One of the coaches. I can't remember who it was. Todd Elton. Yes.
He was more of just a GM that recruited like a powerhouse team.
Yeah, they smoked him.
MVP Derek White.
Yeah, he launched one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's good to see the other Denver Raptors. They had what? Von Miller, Brandon McManus,
Will the Thrill.
Philip Grubauer. Yeah, Will the Thrill. That's right. Yeah, that's so fun. But yeah, I think the Kirkton booth, especially when he was doing the TikTok dances with JoJo Siwa. I'm like, I love this man. He's so awesome. But yeah, then that brought us to the All-Star game on Tuesday night, which again I was fun with. I went back to the house, watched with our dad, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of like the best way to describe it. I mean, it's just the AL continues their run of dominance. I feel like the NL won for like 2 or 3 years in like the early teens or something like that, and
yeah, it was AL, and NL like ran for like
again, it was like 3 years,
like
maybe
4 years, and then
yeah, and then now we're back. So obviously it's tough because again, in these games you don't see it. I remember growing up, like we used to see someone would hit like a 3-run bomb, right? Like, or like I think who was it? Didn't someone hit an inside the park? Ichiro hit an inside the park home run in San Francisco. First bat of the game, the MVP was pretty much decided. Remember when Clemens got rocked in Houston?
Oh yeah,
like Manny had a home run, and then someone else had. I think he got like 6 runs the first. It's become much more of like a pitching game, much more low scoring game. So the MVP is always weird. I guess we could start with the Red Sox though. Good outing. I think we were what 3 for 6 the plate, 3 for 7.
Mm-hmm.
JD didn't look good.
So
Yeah, we got Ryan Foley coming in here.
Yeah.
What's up?
Ryan Foley live on the podcast right now, coming in looking fresh. Yeah, he's got the nice little shirt going, got the sunglasses. He's ready for a nice day.
I can read him later, but I'm gonna pretend it's not.
What did you say? It's you gonna pretend it's not raining? Yeah.
I'm gonna pretend it's not.
Yeah. Oh, he's got his backpack too. He's ready to go.
I'll 32
Yeah,
the aforementioned Ryan I was talking about earlier. So
yeah, good to see front of the program Ryan Foley pop in for a minute there. He's ready to have a nice day for himself there.
Yeah.
Again, it was Saturday afternoon. Why not? But yeah, kind of go back to the All-Star game. I was like power ranking the Red Sox the other day. I was like, well, JD was definitely last.
yeah.
Then backpacks, then Barnes, then Uvalde, then Devers, then Bogarts.
Yeah.
Going worst to best.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Vladdy Jr. hit that tape measure shot.
That was a bomb. Tatis couldn't believe it.
He did that was actually really good. I will say I don't think, and obviously our dad had something to say about this. He definitely doesn't like and I actually agreed with him. Talking to someone while they're batting, that just seems so destructive.
Yeah,
I know it's the All-Star game, but like keep it in the field all you want. That's cool. I like Tatis at shortstop when that was good TV when the bomb just went over his head and he threw his hands over his head there. And then I'm trying to think for home runs because Aaron Sebia, oh my God, GT Real Muto. It's a catcher with J something like 2 initials in the first name. I caught it right away. It's JP Aaron Sebia. And then who's the other home run for the AL? I'm blanking. Zanino, right? Okay. So then they AL wins the game 5-2, and yeah, I mean, again, fun to watch something like crazy eventful. But again, I'd say Vlad Jr. home run was the thing that jumped out. But I will say, I still made this case the other night. Only one player in the game had 2 hits. That was Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, shortstop in baseball.
I'm wondering. It probably still would have gone to Vlad, but I'm like, what if Vlad like just cleared the left field fence? You know what I mean? Just went like 3 feet over it. I'm like, maybe a different conversation. Like it was such a bomb that I'm like, okay, I get it. Like
2-0, and it wasn't really a close game after that.
I know that's true. And a home run's always gonna like It would have to be no home runs at the game, but yeah, X I think second place. I think.
Yeah.
Two hits. Only player with 2 hits in the game. So good outing for Bogarts there. I still have to. Okay, I also have to do my old man rant here. I've been complaining all week about it. The All-Star jerseys are supposed to be on the Derby, and the team jerseys are supposed to be during the game. That's my only complaint. I actually didn't hate the jerseys. Some people did. I didn't mind them themselves. I just hated that they were being worn during the game. That's supposed to be home league wears white, away league wears gray. Let's make it work. That's how baseball's always done it. It looks better. So that's my complaint of everything that happened. But besides that, I think they're already doing it again next year, which I'm not a fan of. I was like trying to cut them some slack. I'm like, maybe they wanted everyone to wear the 44 for Aaron on the home run derby. Like, sure, whatever. But yeah, I won't complain for them. But now we're in the second half of the year. Yankees can't get their act together, so they got COVID, so that ruined the Thursday night game. Then we smacked them around a little last night, huh?
Also, Red Sox.
We'll get some. Duran. Okay, I was like, wait, what am I missing here? I'm like, they are hungry. I'm like, oh yeah, Jaron Duran up. Did he play last night?
No, he would have.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But I think
I saw it.
I think there was going to be Herman going on Thursday.
Okay.
Montgomery pitched last night, lefty. So
Yeah.
I got him in my only league.
Nice. I know. I'm trying to make a transaction. I have so many people, Mike. So do you think it's okay to drop Ronnie Acuna?
Yeah,
I know he's out for the year, but I just get so nervous. You know what I mean? It's like my number one pick.
I was looking at like.
I still have like Soroka on my team. I'm still doing well. I was like, I got a second half of the year like clean out my roster, but I'm always so nerve wracking. Even what about Kyle Lewis? Is he gonna come back?
I have an IL, but just I don't.
Maybe I'll keep him on the IL. Yeah. Move some people around. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Durant obviously out. That's huge. And then second half of the year where this is where the push happens. I know we have all different division winners that we did at the All-Star break last year, or not the All-Star break, I guess. What were they comparing it against?
I think it was like the year end. The finals.
Oh, the year end from last year. I saw they did the side by side. Yeah. So all the division leaders now didn't win the division last year. Is that correct? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, because what is it? It's Red Sox, White Sox, Astros, and then is it Mets still?
The Mets. Yeah.
Yeah. Mets, Brewers, and Giants.
Giants. Yeah.
At the moment. Okay. Yeah. So we have a good second push going. Now it's Sox, Yankees right now. Any other big any other big like head-to-head matchups this weekend?
I think there's a lot. I'm trying to think of the West. I was following some of the West Coast games. I was falling asleep last night. I know like the A's are playing the Indians, Dodgers playing the Rockies.
So not like a lot of I think it's like the most competitive series.
Astros White Sox.
Oh, okay, that's good. And Cubs Diamondbacks?
No, they.
I'm kidding.
And then what could have been would have been Rays Braves.
Nah, I know. Jeez.
And also Giants Cardinals. Didn't expect if I saw 58 and 32 and 44 and 47.
I know you would have completely guessed the opposite. Yeah, you're like, oh, your Giants aren't bad. Yeah.
The Reds are hanging around.
That's actually true. Yeah, they're in second place, right?
Yeah, but I think that's a pretty decent gap. 5 games. So heck, that's 5 games after losing last night. So thinking to win the last 2 of the series, cut that down to 3. We don't have a division race there. But fact, if the Brewers end up sweeping, that's a 7-gamer.
Yeah. I didn't want to dig too deep. I know we're just kind of coming off the All-Star break. Probably not much to talk about after last night's, just one round here. But yeah, excited for the second half of the year. Again, the finals will be done one way or another on Thursday, and then it'll be kind of all baseball leading up to football season there. I know we'll have the Olympics too, but yeah, that'd be awesome. So yeah, fun All-Star week as usual. We got to get out there one of these years, Mike. I think we got to use that in LA next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be fun to head out there for one of these. But yeah, so I guess we'll kind of wrap up with a few other items from the week. I know Mike's got to hit the road soon here, so
yeah, pick up the gal.
Mike, it's officially not coming home.
I wanted to so bad. I even threw, like I said, I was a little hiatus, so I threw some money on them after a couple losses. Did you bet McGregor too? Yeah, McGregor, but
which briefly there, his leg essentially broke. And
and even Copa America. I thought that Messi's drought was going to continue.
You thought Brasilia?
Long drought to end.
Yeah.
I was all wrong on international soccer last weekend, so it was a tough weekend on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's crazy because I was doing a lot of, we had our dishwasher and stuff. We had a lot of stuff happen at the house on Sunday. So I basically had it on my phone the entire game, and I brought the speaker outside. I was doing like yard work and I had it on. So obviously hearing England scored in the first 2 minutes of the game. And then I think I missed the Italy one completely. I was like, looked, it was 1-1, and then I was like, oh, that's definitely bad news there. And then I don't know. It seemed like again, I'm never gonna say getting out to leads, a bad thing, but it's almost like they settled in. They were like, all right, like let's just protect this lead for 90 minutes, which is insane. Because it really seemed like, again, I wasn't watching too close. I kind of had the audio on so that like I could, read Ian Dark's voice when to like run over to the phone. But yeah, it just seemed like they didn't really have any real other chances in the game up until the end there.
yeah, I was on the beach mostly that day. I only really
Yeah.
came and saw like the end of extra time, but just like kind of like it was weird. The one thing that would load for me was Twitter. I couldn't load the box score. So
Yeah.
like I thought like at a point that like kind of oh Italy must have like be up like 2-1 right now, just because everyone's like oh England's playing scare like XYZ and I'm
Yeah.
like, they're probably losing and like I finally got to load and it was like right at the beginning of the second half and they're still up 1-0.
Like, they're still winning. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, it
Yeah, I'm
seems
like
like that's what happened.
and can they just like can this goalie just stand on his head? And he did a pretty good
Yeah.
job. He one in and PK's he did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He saved too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was 3-2. So yeah.
because I didn't miss the net. Yeah, he made
Right.
two.
Oh, right. Yeah, because I guess we missed that. Yeah. But no, yeah, he was fine.
Hit against the post and slapped it out. Like
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really good. Yeah, then obviously goes to PKs, and again, anything can always happen there. They come out of the gate hot. I think it was Kane, and then what's the other guy's name?
Kane's goal is very impressive. Like the
Yeah.
goal was right, and he just fired.
Yeah,
it. And then the goalie guessed right again on the second guy. I forget his name, but it was
it's
just
yeah, it's another very English sounding name, but
it was
I
top, like left to right corner that
Yeah.
no goalie can save. Period.
yeah, exactly.
And
And
then
then
on this because they shot first, right? England.
yeah.
Yeah. So then they had a save. So it was a third round. They could have gone up 3-1
Mm-hmm.
and then hit the post.
Mm-hmm. Actually, did Italy? I can't even remember who went first because now I'm like, well, Pickford, he definitely saved two, but they wouldn't have had to go the fifth. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and then hitting the post was bad. That was really bad because the guy went the other way. It'd be one thing if you went that way and you just like you tried to get it past him and you ran out of space. It's like no, you had the entire left side of the net open.
Once that post happened, I knew it was over.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like that.
Think,
Yeah,
Pickford would get another save. Then when he did, I'm like, okay, I actually think he did it. And then I just like go to the ball. I know he's really good. I just could tell. I'm like, oh
yeah.
they're gonna get a third one saved.
So did they sub Sterling out? Is that why he didn't kick?
I don't know. I knew they put two people in just for PKs. Like the two guys came in at the end, like in like the 120th minute.
It's just weird because it doesn't seem like basketball where, all right, technical foul called against the Suns. Like Giannis is your best player, but he's not going to shoot your free throws because he's not good at them. I feel like in soccer, usually your best goal scorer is your best PK person. So I don't really get how
I like Sterling.
isn't a top 5 PK person for you. I don't
Their man really screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, second time because he did that as a player, right, in the 90s.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 96. I think he screwed something up. But so yeah, Italy gets it. It really looked like it might have been coming home, as they say, to England. So huge win for the Italians, both in Italy and over here in the U.S. celebrating. Seeing a lot of Soprano memes going around that day, which was fun. One thing I have to say is England, clean it up. Like, can we clean up the racism BS? Clean it up.
Yeah,
that's the reason why I'm like, you know what? I mean, I feel bad for the players, but like, I'm kind of now I'm like, you probably didn't deserve to win.
I think that's my fault, but also the fact that like, I guess I would rather have. I feel bad for the players. Like I wish they scored so they wouldn't.
No, I know. It means more to that. Yeah.
I wish they scored so they wouldn't have to deal with these people instead of saying.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. Yeah, I never want to take it out of the team. Like yeah, for sure. And then, but yeah, so that sort of ended. Congrats to Italia. And then at the moment now, I think the big thing going on, like I said, McGregor, is the leg obviously like was disgusting. So yeah, he lost that matchup on Saturday night. Um, Again, pretty still bummed about that Tyson Fury fight that got canceled. So
I
that's a
think it's
bummer.
postponed.
Well, yeah, I should say postponed. Yeah, right. But yeah, that was obviously a bummer. Then the big thing going on right now is the PGA Championship. I have it on right now. Having cut the latest leaderboard. Last time I saw was Spieth and Ustays, and I think they were tied at the top. Not sure if that's still the case here. I'm trying to actually the Ustays is up a stroke now, so he's at -12. Spieth at 11. Morikawa, he's even on the day. He started a little rough. I think he's bounced back, so he's at -9. And then we have Connors and Fratelli at -8. So again, obviously pretty deep into the round since things start a little earlier with it being across the pond here. But yeah, we'll obviously see who comes away in the last day and a half or so here to get the final major of the year. Again, usually was the PGA, but now the Open Championship wraps the golf year up.
Question:
Yes.
How's Bryson doing?
Actually, I have no idea. Did he get cut?
I think he did.
I saw. I think Phil was awful.
Yeah.
I think he was like 12 over.
Yeah, Mickelson.
But oh my god,
Zalatoris.
yeah.
But he shot at 69, so one injury. Phil shot an 80 on Thursday. Settled down with the 72, but
Yeah, but Bryson just yelling at his driver. He's just an insane person.
Yeah.
And then Brooks obviously taking the cheap shot saying he loves his driver.
He made the cut.
But where's he at?
+3.
+3. Yeah, he's 15 strokes off. I'd almost rather get cut at that point. You just gotta go like off course, being like, knowing you're not gonna get anywhere near the top. But so Louis actually at -12 now, and he's putting for birdie, and it looks like he got. Oh no, I missed. Gucci cursed him. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, Game 5 tonight. We'll have a recap of games 5 and 6 on Wednesday. The week's easier to promise, I think, than the weekend sometimes. So I think we should be able to make that work, especially if it's really only the finals happening this week, no All-Star game or anything. So again, we'll see where we're at. We might have an NBA champion, might not. I think we recorded last time that the Lightning were pretty much about to win. They finished that game off. So it was easy. But yeah, we might have an NBA champ. We're either have an NBA champ or we'll be looking for a Game 7. So one of those two will play out. We'll have more of a recap of who won the PGA here, where we're at for baseball, and leading into the Olympics next weekend. So a lot going on. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Again, apologies for the delay and also some tech issues today. Thanks for hanging in with us. Also, actually, one more final thing, because I know we have very few listeners, and someone who might be listening is Nick Carrasco. Congratulations on his engagement to Nicole. Huge news. So pumped. So great seeing that last night. Great talking to him, and I'm just really happy for you both. And yeah, just wanted to end with that because that's someone who might actually be listening right now. But yeah.
And the sad news, R.I.P. Bismarcky.
True. Oh my God. Yeah. The good and the bad there. Again, seemed like a DMX style thing where it got reported too early, but did end up passing. So yeah, R.I.P. to Bismarcky as well. And but yeah, like I said, thanks everyone, and we'll be back next week.
See you guys.